register people to register Republican does not work. We know that. We went through it. And it's so silly. You think they would have told us that when we started. Why didn't they tell us that?
Who's that?
The GOP.
Oh, they're useless.
They don't care about you.
Okay. We are essentially doing what I indicated we were going to do 3 years ago when we started this at the American Legion. John Paul blew it out of the water. We had over 100 people blow out that room. All the newspapers were there. We went nationwide. We went in there, we were yelling Basta, and we told them we're going to copy what the Democrats do. But I didn't know we were going to do it. I just said it, but essentially that is what happened. We are working with little kids, to adults, to organizations, nonprofits, to reach the Latino community so they know what Basta is, not what they're told.
Yep.
That's the key issue. What we are, not what we're being
Not what they're being
talked
told.
about. And we also discussed how important it is to sustain and improve our communications. Kathy does an outstanding job with emails, texts, and phone calls. If you want to know anything, you reach the cat. She sends out stuff 3 or 4 times a month, keeps up with the database. My hat's off to her. She's really without her, we'd be lost. Thank you so much, Kathy. At the executive board meeting, I asked each officer to give me their feel of what Basta was, and they all gave their views, and then I explained again the trajectory. Everybody there agreed with it. Maybe they didn't like it, but they understood it. Hopefully, the meeting will make it easier for board members to explain Basta. When people ask you what we are and what we're doing, I like what Myra said. I like what John said. I like what Arturo said. We have to crawl before we walk, before we run. Because the GOP has done such a terrible 20 years ignoring us or more. And they continue to do it. I'm going to close this part of the meeting with this. And I brought this up Saturday at the endorsing committee. I asked the Democrat if Fred Whitaker, Sean Steele, and John Parks, a UCI communist professor, Democrat, they converted him to a Republican to knock out the Indian Hispanic Chris Gonzalez from running in CD 46. You guys hear what I just said?
Yeah.
And before that, they did the same thing to John Paul.
Yeah.
That's the GOP. They knocked out a Democrat Latino to put a Chinese communist who just flipped in the last 9 months to a Democrat. And then he lied to people that we were supporting him and he was giving $5,000 a month to us. So at this endorsement committee Saturday, I asked him, why are you saying that? Why are you saying we endorsed you and we're helping you? No answer. And then I asked him, who flipped you? And he said, I went to the GOP. And I said, no, you didn't. You were contacted by Fred Whitaker, Sean Steele, and John Park. And John can tell you all about those guys. So that's the GOP. So that's what was discussed at the executive board meeting. If we move on, I'm going to pass out. I don't do a lot of these because you guys don't pay attention. So I'm going to pass this on.
You're
I got it. What is Passat? There's not enough of these to share them. It's the financial report that John Paul put together and emailed to me. We started off with $4,500 in the beginning of the quarter, and we had $10,000 because I was able to raise another $12,000. And by the way, how do I raise the money? I get on the phone, I talk to people. I was on the radio, national radio 2 weeks ago. We got a lot of money as a result of that radio show.
Pasadena?
No, it was in Chicago. I went online, it was a 1-hour interview, and they wanted to know about Basta. And I essentially said everything I just said here, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, and why we need help. And I want one day when we can, we want to take this model everywhere because it works. The only thing that works is soft power, starting at the bottom, and going crawl before we walk and go forward. Anyway, that's the whole thing. There's any questions on the budget? You see how the money was spent? Food bank is costing us $1,200 in the last 3 months. Every time we have that puppy, it's $200 or $300. I gotta pay for bags, I gotta pay for water, I gotta pay for refrigerator, freezers, lunches, all that. Every lunch is over $100, close to it. Depends how many people show up. Signs, literature.
What do you do with all those freezers,
On what?
refrigerators and
I'm
freezers?
trying to, good point. I'm trying to find a place where to store our 4 refrigerators and freezer, because we don't need them right now. I don't want to sell them, because I got them at a very good deal. And so if you know anybody where we can store, we'll even pay. And I'm trying to find a place where we can put up 4 refrigerators and a freezer to store them. Right? So you can see the expenses there. ROE, we spent $83, and that's going to go up. As bad as their information is, that's the voters registration. We need to know how the people are voting every 24 hours. With the vote by mail, the ballots come in. So let's say there's in Myra's district, let's say there's 20,000 voters, which is pretty close. And on the first ballots that come in, 1,000 people already voted. So we can subtract that from the database. So when we walk, we don't go to those houses that already voted. Conversely, if people have not voted, the talkers can knock on the doors and ballot harvest. Hey, we'll wait here, fill out the ballot, and I'll take it.
Are we gonna be going into nursing homes or anything like that for ballot harvest?
No, Mary, so John can tell you how hard it is to walk apartments. See, if you went with us, how hard is it, John, to watch those 3-story apartments?
Well, it depends on the department, depends on the list, you know.
But it's a bitch. You gotta walk up the stairs.
She's asking about,
Same thing, those are hospitals and all that. Yeah, same thing. My mom was in one of those.
They were getting-
Anybody that goes into one of those places, my brother's a doctor. Here's what my brother says about hospitals and daycare centers. If you walk in there, you're as close to death as you're ever gonna be. There's so much illness and death in there, don't go. You're risking your life. That's my brother's a doctor. He told me that. When my dad was sick, and he was on his last stage, he said, don't go. He's already dead. The day he walked in there, he was already sick. He died. My brother that died, same thing. He was like 45 years old. He did too many drugs. They put him in there, and they taught my mother to allow them to experiment on him,
Yeah.
and he died within 30 days. So I don't like going there. First of all, the smell is terrible. You were a nurse, you know what I'm saying. Okay, donations, we donated $1,085 to various groups. All right, printing $750, and that's going to go up. All right, shipping, license, mentees. We have a mentee program, which is awesome. We have between 3 to 5 every year. John was one of our guests, and next Saturday we're going to have our gala, which is we give them all $1,000 scholarships. These are college kids, either freshmen, seniors, or going for a master's. Most of them Latinos, and we mentor them for 9 months, and then they graduate. And every year we do that. So Nally and I, we run that program. That's it. So total expenses almost $6,000, and with a balance of $10,000, 10.5. Okay. Any questions? All right. So we did all that. Speakers, we already had the speakers. Summary, speakers came, they gave their pitch. I recommend we walk with them. You don't have to, but we're going to walk. As many of us, your friends, anybody else. We're going to provide lunch, we're going to provide water, we're going to provide maps, we're going to provide aprons. And if you need a hat or whatever you need, we'll do that. We'll pay for it. After every walk, we eat. We normally walk, I say an hour and a half to 2 hours, John. About 2 hours maximum. There you go.
4 miles.
one and a half to 2 and a half.
1.5 to 2. Each guy does between 150 to 200 houses.
Yeah.
Okay, the guys go along,
dogs are.
the girls go in pairs. Okay, and we
Roosters.
walk, and we saturate. We don't stop and talk. High and by, and we're done. We just drop off the literature, because that's how these people vote. They vote by reading the material. They won't answer the door. You can see them, you can smell the food, you can hear them, and they will not answer the door. So we knock one time, drop it, and go. And if a rooster doesn't get you, or a dog, we just keep going. Sean got bit, and I got chased by a rooster. Anyway, all that happened, I discussed all the things that are going on, I reinforced what we're doing. I talked about the food bank. Larry, you want to add anything as the vice president?
No, Ron, just stay healthy. You're doing a great job.
Larry does a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, he's always there when I want him. He's always there, just like Kathy, just like John, just like Mom, just like Arturo. Every one of them, they do a lot of things you don't know about in the background. They donate their time, they do stuff, so without them, it would be awfully hard. Okay, and then any questions, guys, on anything?
When do you walk?
Waiting now for the candidates to get the literature, and I'm making the geocoding maps, and I'm looking at all the overlaps. For example, this is Orange County, and this little basket is San Ana. Some of them have a district here, 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 and some of them overlap. So it's not an overlap. We're gonna walk for all of them. In the special cases, we'll walk in special areas. For example, our priorities are to knock out Hernandez. So that's the man that is sitting here. Ward 5 in San Ana. That's downtown San Ana, right where the food bank's gonna be. Put him on office. Okay? So that's our number
We
one.
want to ruin
Number
his
2 is
career.
Myra. Myra is in a very special, winnable situation. We gotta get her in there. And unfortunately, the board of directors wants her in there, but they cannot endorse her. Conflict of interest. And the unions cannot support her. The only people that can support her is something called the SPARFAC, which is some kind of a teachers' college organization. And the opponent spent $16,000. He spent $16,000, but he raised a lot more than that. And the majority of the money came from him and 3 or 4 friends. He put in around $8,000, $9,000. I got all the data, and the rest came from 3 or 4 friends. He did some phone banking, and he paid some print houses, and that was all he did. And it was a 3-way vote, and he won by about 8 or 9,000, 7 or 8,000 votes. And because the other 2 guys split the vote.
Yeah.
So now he's not spending too much here, so you have a very good chance of winning. Nellie's another one. Unfortunately, it's a dilemma for us because she's running against Ceci Iglesias, okay, which is good and bad. So I know John's been asked to help her, and Paz has been asked to help her. So I said to Paz, help both of them. Help both of them. It's okay. Ceci is a Republican in name only. She doesn't like the party. She wants to go out because she's been treated so bad. John can tell you all the background of that. Okay, so
Just stay in there to help me out so I can go and sit. If she had it her way, she'd be gone a long time ago, but she's staying in just so I can attend the meetings.
oh yeah, so she's doing John a big favor.
Yeah.
So John, she's got you. You can't say no. John, it's okay as long as you help us too. Okay. Anything else?
Where's this Gloria Lazaro?
Okay, again, but Gloria Alvarado is the president of the Orange County Fed. She represents over 14 different unions in Orange County report to her. She has over 100,000 members. She's very, very powerful. I've known her 10 years. But did you hear what her son said?
Yeah.
She convinced him to vote for Trump. And she voted for Trump. And when I had lunch with her, now you can't repeat this to her, Myra.
Okay.
After we were done, I said to her, you're a damn Republican. And she laughed. And Santa Ana people, a lot of the Democrats are Republicans. But they can't register Republican.
Yeah.
Because they want to win. If they run Republican, they lose. The communists get in. I was in a meeting 3 weeks ago, being put on by your friend, Rhonda Shaver.
My friend.
She runs against in CN, SD 34, a staunch Republican on the Central Committee board. Held a meeting, not one but 2 I've been to, and it was full of Democrats. And she's working with, like we are, to knock out progressives. So if she's there, Fred Whitaker has to know about it. But yet he won't help us.
Yeah.
This is why. Look, this is why he will not help us. And I really believe that, because I told him this. I said, Fred, what are you doing about 2025?
They quit blaming me.
Yeah, I said, what are you doing about 2025? Nothing.
Everyone's scared.
I called up Patterson. said, Patterson,
This is the
what are you doing about
update.
2025? Nothing. And I said, will you do me a favor and go to the DNC website? Half of it's in Spanish. If you go to the OCDLC, half of it is Spanish. And their executive board is 50-60% Hispanic. Nothing. Nothing is, and I offered. I said, we'll do the website. We'll translate. Nothing. Total ignorance. When Christopher ran, even though I didn't align with him all the way, and he wasn't that good a candidate, he should have helped him. He should have helped him. He did nothing.
You won't drink the Kool-Aid. What's wrong with you?
And here's the bottom line about the GOP in Santa Ana. When John ran, he got like 28% of the vote.
It was a record at the time.
With no help.
Time.
With no help. When Tardif ran, I think it was Tardif, he got like 38%.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, 36 to 38%. When Tardif ran, it
44.
was 45% with no help.
And it didn't do a lot.
He didn't do a lot. We were the only ones that had the stuff for him. So I contacted Fred. I gave him all the numbers. I said, Fred, will you please give us $100,000 and we'll win? Nothing. No reply. Mary, what does that tell you? Is it racism?
I would hope not.
Is it stupidity?
Stupidity.
Does he want to win?
Or E, all of the above.
He doesn't want to win. I believe, like John Paul told me 2 years ago, there's some kind of a deal between Fred Whitaker and the DNC. We'll stay out of Santa Ana, and you stay out of here, Ted. And here's the proof in the pudding. If you don't believe me, you text me. If you don't believe what I'm going to say, you text me, and I will send you this article. Jerry Serrano, you guys know who that is? President, used to be the president of the Police Officers Association.
Yeah.
Fred Whitaker, you know who that is?
No.
Alvino Valencia, you know who that is? Avelino Valencia,
Okay.
Congressman, AD 69.
That's
And the president, yeah, and the president of the Anaheim Chamber of Commerce. He's in prison.
Right.
Those four guys, listen to me, those four guys stole from us $250,000 in angel tickets that were supposed to go to us, and they went to them, their family, and their donors. I've got the story.
Boston was supposed to get these tickets?
No, the city, the
What city?
Orange County residents
Residents.
that live in Anaheim, every year the Angels get.
Ah.
I've gotten those from my portfolio. They donate.
So was Sadu in on that
Yeah,
too?
I don't know if he was in on it, but.
So-
Avelino Valencia.
So the Santa Ana
Right.
police officer?
Yeah, Avelino Valencia gave tickets to a lady named So, who was the wife of Jerry Serrano, the president of the POA.
Okay.
Okay, and Fred Whitaker was in the middle of all of this. So when you think of the GOP, racism and stupidity, and they don't want to put that in the pot. Why do they do that? Here's why. They don't care about us, Mary. Neither party cares about it. John can tell you that. John's trying to fix that.
No, I'm not. We are fixing it.
He's fixing it. So anyway, I hope you guys like that closing statement. If
Yeah.
you want it, you send me a text, I'll send you the article. And you can read about it. And I love Jerry. I talk to him all the time.
Is that from Morris Juice Club?
Yeah, it's-
No, it's from Anaheim. I think it's called Anaheim Net or Anaheim News.
Well, that Orange Juice Club guy he dropped something about that before.
Yeah, it's unbelievable what's
And
going on.
I guess that's been the opposition to that dude from the Police Officers Association because they've been talking about that for a
Yeah,
while.
well, they've changed. Jerry's gone. They got a new leader, and so far they've not reached out to us at all. I did talk to them last week. I told them all the people we're going to help. Some of them they're going to help, but they told me they're staying out of city politics this time around.
Liars.
Yes.
John, when I first met John, he talked to me that way. I thought he was silly. He's been right for 5 years. He's been right on everything he said. Thank you all for coming tonight. Okay? And,
I'll do my best.
We're going to meet again in the last quarter of the year.
Don't Trump.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a lot of us in there.
Did she say go basta? Hey, so look, you're gonna be getting notice for special meetings,
Yes.
walking meetings, helping the candidates, phone banking. If you can donate your house, if you can donate donate your space, we need to have phone banking. Phone banking is gonna help. It's gonna be limited funds, so the way we're gonna win is we're gonna outwork them, we're gonna outsmart them, we're gonna outwalk them, we're gonna out-meeting them, whatever it takes because we don't have the money, we gotta use our smarts, okay? If you know anybody that wants to kick in money, go on the website, you can kick in money, tell your friends about us, and good luck. Have a nice rest of the day.
Thank you. Yay, we're on.
I hope you enjoyed it. To catch us on our next video. See you next time.